Hello, everybody. We got a lot of news. We got a lot to go over. And with this developer update that's going to be coming in the 9.2, at least in the PTB. So things might change, but we got a lot to look at that's going to be in the PTB. A lot of things that are going to be in place very shortly. Let's just jump in. Let's take a look and see what's to come and what could even possibly be coming in to DBD. Because from the sounding of it and from the looks of it, it could very well be a very huge game changer on the tunneling and just quite a big impact. So first up, the slugging reduction update. If a survivor is left in the dying state for a total of 90 seconds during a match, they gain the ability to pick themselves up after fully recovering. I think that's perfect. Added the option to enable or disable this mechanic in custom games. Okay. Note, perks that enable you to recover from the dying state, like Boon Exponential, will continue to function as before without needing to meet this requirement. Perfect. You don't have to touch anything that, would pick you up before the 90. Gradually increases crawling speed for survivors who are left in the dying state. Gradually increases crawling speed. Okay, so you get away faster. So the detective tap perk, that tenacity. So you'd essentially get that over time then. I think that's smart because it allows you to make more distance from the killer. It allows you to have a higher chance, especially with conviction now. Put a much bigger gap between you and the killer. Allows it for more gameplay, at least. Added the ability for survivors to recover while crawling. I don't necessarily understand why that wasn't a mechanic after a while. Recovering now occurs passively with no need to hold a button. Well, okay. You know what? Everything's just going to work together. I guess that just makes it easier. That either way. Updated several survivor and killer perks to account for these changes. Perfect. I hope it'll probably be when the PTB comes around. If not, maybe when we get closer. Or if they have a stream, they kind of go more details about who survivor and what killer perks are getting updated. Because or unless they go through in this, they might not, but we will see. Passively recover while crawling. So recover. So this is a good example. Pick yourself up if you've been in the dying state for 90 seconds. Okay. So this video here shows you that you're passively recovering while crawling. You're not holding a button, it goes. This video down here is showing that he was down for 90 seconds, and this small yellow bar that's very similar to the looking like you're mending. 90 seconds, you're up all by yourself. Perfect. I think this is a good way to go forward. With the slugging, it's a good start, but let's see. A big part of this is about making the experience of being slugged more pleasant, as much as being slugged can be at least perfect. Looking for solutions, and that's all we can really look for in the end. Tunneling reduction update. And this is quite a paragraph. When a survivor is hooked, their hook status is hidden from the killer. When they're unhooked, there is no notification and their hook status isn't revealed immediately. This is disabled once all generators are completed. Okay. But unhooked survivors gain the following effects for a limited time. Haste, endurance, and elusive. See below. So elusive status effect is new. But we'll see what it does once we get there. No collision with other players, both killer or survivor. Good, so there's no body blocking. You can't have a teammate acting like an ass, and you can't have a killer acting like an ass. Immunity, killer instinct, and sees the killer aura instead. Perfect. Allows another perfect way to assist. This is all about assisting with not getting tunneled. You know, sometimes you just can't help it. It all is going to be the way of behavior assisting survivors to not get tunneled. So this seems to be a good step forward. These effects are lost when the affected survivor performs a conspicuous action, generator, healing, the whole 9 yards. All these effects, except haste and endurance, are disabled once all generators are completed. Okay, so if you're unhooked, right? If you're unhooked when all the generators are completed, you only get haste and endurance. You don't get elusiveness. That's how I'm reading that. Adding a unique effect to the killer hook status UI that indicates the last survivor they hooked to try to teach us. I guess that's to tell us this is the last person. The only thing with that, I mean, even the way that the system is, people know who it is we went after. Like, we know it's, oh, we hooked a Meg. Oh, the Meg is unhooked. The only thing I can see that's this new feature useful for is it's going to be useful for if you go against in a game with all Nias, same outfits, same everything, or you know, the games where everybody's the same character. That will be beneficial so you don't get screwed, because I can absolutely see that becoming a thing if these updates get applied. So that can save us. But if it's literally there's a Trevor, there's a Michonne, there's a Meg, there's a Bill, and it's like, oh, I hooked the Bill. I know I hooked the Bill. If I want to go after the Bill again, I can just go after the Bill again. After completing a unique hook, the same survivor is not hooked consecutively. Killers get the following benefits. So they're giving us an incentive to not do this. You get bonus damage for the next generator kick, temporary haste status effect, temporarily reveals survivors. Think base kit barbecue and chili that has less or equal hook states to the hook survivor. Temporarily reveals survivors that have less or equal. Okay, less or equal. Somebody has 2. It can show us who has 2 or who has 1 hook states. Okay, that I understand as long. Okay. These effects are slightly lessened for the Blight, the Dark Lord, the Ghoul, the Hillbilly, and the Nurse. The killers that can get across the map fairly quick, fairly easily. You know, I feel like you might also want to probably should tweak that for even like Springtrap, because with the doors and things like that, he can still get across the map fairly quick. But they've chosen their select strong. I know those are pretty S tier from what I mostly hear. They're pretty strong killers. Sadly, especially the Ghoul. Nobody likes the Ghoul. But you probably should even think about putting some of these killers that have even faster mobility in here. Just to think about. These effects are disabled once all generators are completed. Perfect. Add new effects that disincentivizes tunneling. If a survivor dies before 6 total hook states, all remaining survivors gain a repair speed bonus for the rest of the trial, which is perfect, because that I agree with 100%. The survivor that was last hooked is sacrificed or killed. Generators cannot be regressed or blocked. If the survivor that was last hooked is sacrificed or killed, generators cannot be regressed or blocked. So is that stating as well, if a killer hooks somebody, if the 3 hooks are 1 survivor, they all get a speed bonus to repairing, as well as the killer cannot do anything of regressing or blocking them? Are those 2 together? Is that my understanding? I guess that's something to test. Added the option to enable or disable these new features in custom games. That doesn't matter. Updated several survivors and killer perks to account for these changes. I'd be interested to know what perks they adjusted. I guess it'd be like babysitter or something like that, like some perks related to those. Probably I don't even know the perk's name, the one that exchanges the hook tallies. I bet will get adjusted due to this as well. The elusive status effect. Okay, so here we go. And it adds a new status effect that silences grunts of pain and suppresses survivors' aura, pools of blood, and scratch marks. So it's Iron Will mixed with a bunch of other perks. It just literally makes you elusive. You're just basically hidden from the killer, which is perfect. It's a good step forward for these problems. The sad thing is, even though it's a good step, there will still be people who will push it. There will still be people who will be able to get around it because, whether they're just good enough at finding people, but I think it's all good steps. Updated tomes menu to feature new tomes and accompanying lore alongside each chapter release. New lore is unlocked each week within the active tome. Okay. Killer updates. Now, I've been seeing a lot about Michael Myers. And I know a lot of people have been waiting for something to happen with him. So, let's grab our popcorn and let's jump on into this. Replaced Evil Within with 2 modes that can be toggled with a button press. Stalker mode, which you get a movement speed of 4.2, undetectable, and you can stalk survivors. Or Pursuer mode, which is 4.6 meters per second movement speed, 24 meter terror radius, increased vault speed, bonuses to lunge range, break speed, and stun recovery, and cannot stalk survivors. Okay. Once the stalk meter is full, Evil Incarnate mode can be triggered at will, granting the following effects for a limited time. Note, survivors no longer become exposed. So in this Evil Incarnate mode, 4.6 meters per second, a 40 meter terror radius, and an increased vault speed. It also unlocks the Slaughtering Strike ability, which you would hold the power button to charge this ability. It reduces movement speed while charging. Press the attack button while charging to quickly lunge forward, adjusting your angle as you move. The length of the lunge depends on the charge time. If a survivor enters the killer's attack range while lunging, they are knocked into the dying state. This ability also can be used to destroy pallets. So the way it sounds, it kind of sounds like it's a mixture of the pig's ambush attack, and the fact that it can destroy pallets it's just like also a slight combination of like the Blight's rush as well. But the fact that you can down people instantly, or unlocks the ability. No. Destroy pallets. yes, they are knocked into the dying state. So it sounds like it acts as an exposed strike. So okay, so instead of going in evil within 3 and everybody's exposed, this strike just allows you to instant knock them down. Unlocks the ability to grab and kill or perform a regular mori on survivors who would die the next time they are hooked. And that's pretty cool. I like that. That's a nice adjustment. Adjusted some of the mechanics of stalking. Remove the limited pool of stock points per survivor. Right there. S ranked adjustment. Because I haven't played Michael Myers in a while, but that was always the one thing where everybody's glowing bright red, and it's like, see what you can literally squeeze out of them just so you can keep on moving on. If you can get that evil within 3 just one more time, one more sweet time. Reduce stalked range to 32 meters and remove the distance modifier. Perfect. Everywhere it just works the same. You can just keep stocking up them points. Moving while stalking has increased movement speed but incurs a reduced stalk rate. Reworked as add-ons. Okay, so moving while stalked has increased. So it's better to stalk while not moving. But of course you can move and it'll just, the rate is slightly, it's not saying, it's not even slightly, but it is reduced by some kind of a percentage. And then of course, yeah, I'm sure all his add-ons have to be adjusted, because now there's no longer evil withins, all these modes, so they're gonna just be reworking all his add-ons. And then this is the Slaughter Strike. Yeah, it looks like it's literally the best way to example it is that's the pig's ambush strike. Those are dev notes. Let's see. The Clown, a minor update. Increased activation time for the Afterpiece antidote. It increased how long the Afterpiece antidote hindered effect lingers after leaving smoke. Okay. I'll see how that goes. I know the Clown's adjustments have not been fun or have not been very nice in DBD. I haven't gone against the Clown recently and I have not played as him. I've seen many videos of what it is like and it doesn't look that fun. Like, it just doesn't. It doesn't look that fun to even touch the killer. So I don't think these adjustments will really save him. I think at this point they should just revert him back and just rethink about what it is that they really want to do with the Clown, because he just doesn't look that fun to play or go against. Nothing really. Unknown, my baby boy Bob. Increase the additional time added to weakened when injured by a UVX projection or projectile. Okay, so there's additional time added to weakened only when you're injured by it. It doesn't, his add-on doesn't increase it. Or actually, because it says adjusted several add-ons, maybe it does. Increase movement speed recovery after teleporting. So that's the common add-on. I know you used to do like 15%, so I'm curious as to what they'll do. If they're gonna lower it to like 5%, or if they're just gonna absolutely change it, because I forget the name of what it is specifically, but that common was like you teleport 15% recovery speed. Increase camera vertical range. And as this video shows, he can look up higher, which is so cool that, yeah, you know how fun it would be if you can shoot the UVX over buildings now? I like that. That's pretty cool. The Dark Lord. Vampire form, slightly reduced Hellfire cooldown. Increased total Hellfire pillars by 1, so it's get a nicer range. Reduced Hellfire charge movement speed. That's a good way to accommodate it, getting such a the first two were buffs. Slightly increased slowdown time after casting. Slightly increased slowdown timer after casting Hellfire. So this is kind of like a 50-50. They reduced the cooldown, they added an extra pillar, but everything for the Dark Lord himself, they slowed down. So I would say this vampire form is pretty even for a buff and a nerf. I can't say which one is better, but I think the one extra pillar can be very useful. I wonder if, because it says adjusted, his add-ons, I know there's one that was something about you got an additional pillar, so I wonder if that one's going to be adjusted as well, or if they're just going to get rid of it. Wolf form, increased pounce attack charge time. Increased pounce attack charge time. Increased scent orb spawn time? Bat form, increased movement friction to make flying easier to control. Okay, I would say this medium update's probably which is well-rounded. Maybe except for the wolf form. I think that's more of a nerf. And bad, I don't really know. Cool. When grabbing a survivor in the other side of a vault with Kagane Leap, the survivor is released at the start of the ghoul's vault instead of at the end. The survivor is released at the start of the ghoul's vault instead of the end. What? It is no secret that it's been a common pain point for survivors to be locked in place when hit with a Kagane Leap grab attack across a vault. Survivors shouldn't have to wait for the ghoul to finish their vault before being able to move again, so we remove this tech. That's the only thing you're adjusting on the ghoul, though? To be honest, I think what needs to be changed with the ghoul is when he leaps. When you use the Kagane Leap, I think he needs to slide. There needs to be a sliding tech along with it. Whether it's, you leaped forward and you're going straight, or it's, you can try to like turn it a little bit and curve very similar to the Blight when you swing and you turn. There needs to be something like that. I know the grab attack, I think, is the biggest pain in the ass when it comes to him. But I would also definitely say the leap, because it is the straight up fact that you can leap somewhere, like you can leap on top of a survivor so quick, and in the middle of the leap you can cancel the mode you're in, and midair you cancel it, you come out once you hit the ground, and then you can smack a survivor, is what's crazy. The ghoul needs a lot of touch. He needs the love to make him a character that people want to play. He might never be a character that people will ever enjoy going against because it's just been too long, but he needs to be tweaked. The leap grab needs to be adjusted. The leap, as I said, it needs to have it where he slides. You leap both times forward, you're going to go sliding for a bit. Very slow. Actually, even a good other way to example it is Wesker 2. You fuck up on the leap, you're going straight unless you hit something early. I called his a leap and it's a freaking bound. That's the perfect example of what can be done with it too. The grab, I don't know what they need to adjust to make that crap work properly. The power, I thought they fixed something with it where it's like if you're in the enraged mode and you break something, you get pulled out of it. I thought they did it. I don't know if I'm wrong about that. That's probably something that they should take a look at. Change it. Make it that. You break a pallet, you break a wall, you're immediately out of enraged. They need to fix them. They need to show this guy some love, because I would love to be able to play him more. I love Tokyo Ghoul. I loved watching it. but they really need to just show him love. All these fixes, I think, would be the best thing for him. Oni. Hooking a survivor now spawns more blood orbs. Why? Why is that needed? Was he not getting enough blood? Actually, what is the dev note? We understand that with the changes we're making to address slugging, this will impact the Oni slightly. So we want to... mitigate by turning hook survivors into... We understand that the changes we're making to address slugging, this will impact the Oni slightly, so we want to mitigate this. By turning hook survivors into a greater source of power gauge buildup, the Oni is rewarded with more quickly snowballing power by hooking. Okay. That's forward thinking, I'll give them that one. It made no sense for me at first. I'm happy they put these dev notes as to why. I barely read them. So thank you, behavior, because I was very confused. And then updated various perks. In addition to the general perk balance updates we expect each release, we've also made a number of adjustments to account for the new system coming to DBD. This update, specifically relating to slugging and tunneling. Stay tuned next Tuesday for the PTB live balance preview on Discord, where we'll dig into the details of these perk changes and then follow up with more patch notes where we can find the nitty-gritty numbers. Okay. It looks good. What they're doing looks good. I know tunneling and slugging absolutely sucks. It's boring, but this looks like it's a good step forward. I so hope it does assist and it really can help with, knitting this all in the bud. I am very curious as to how Michael Myers is going to be in DBD. It sounds like he's going to be a lot of fun. With what they did with Freddy was good. I'm hoping this is the same love for Michael as well. And please, behavior, just fix the ghoul, tweak him, make him a character that people will love to play as. I don't know if survivors will ever love to go against him, but that's it for this. Like it says, they'll be doing a live PTB balance preview on Discord. If you got them, check it out. Otherwise, I'll catch everybody later.